Yes, scientists at Colossal Biosciences in Dallas, Texas, have been working to bring back the dire wolf, once one of the most dominant predators in North America during the Ice Age, but of course it went extinct 10,000 years ago, I think it was, even further. Using advanced gene editing, they've engineered modern grey wolves to take on the physical traits of their extinct cousins, including muscular build, powerful jaws, and striking white fur. The first three pups, Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, have been born. When they're fully grown, they're anticipated to weigh between 50 to 80 kilos, which is far heavier than the average grey wolf, which gets up to about 45 kilos. So the team studied ancient dire wolf DNA, apparently comparing it with that of the living wolf, to pinpoint genes responsible for this animal's unique characteristics. While it isn't a perfect replica, they say it's as close as science can currently get, creating what researchers call a proxy species. We're going to, later on, we'll talk about other things that Colossal want to do, but I suppose the question is, why are they doing it? They say it's a project to help advance conservation technology and raise public interest in protecting endangered animals. Really? Well, look, joining me now is Associate Professor Nic Rawlence, a Director of Otago Palaeogenetics Laboratory, got to get this right, Department of Zoology, on the phone. Hello, Nic.
Hello, Leah. Thanks for having me on.
Well, look, this has fascinated the world, it seems, Nic, maybe because of the species that they've chosen to do. But how close to a real dire wolf are these ones that Colossal Biosciences have created?
So, sorry to burst your listeners' bubble, but what they've created is a designer genetically modified grey wolf. So if we think the genome, the entire genetic blueprint of a grey wolf and a dire wolf is about 2.5 billion individual DNA letters long.
Wow.
And even with those genomes being 99.5% identical, that's still 12.5 million individual differences across that blueprint between a dire wolf and a grey wolf. And what Colossal have done, they've only made 20 edits in 14 genes.
I see.
So very much still a grey wolf with dire wolf-like characteristics.
Right. So Nic, you can't truly de-extinct something then, can you?
No. So if you wanted to truly de-extinct an animal, you need to use cloning, like what happened with Dolly the sheep all those years ago. So you'd need really well-preserved DNA that if anyone has done that experiment in high school where you blend up a strawberry or a banana in a blender and you put the toothpick in and then bring out all the DNA that looks like snot. That's really good quality DNA. Ancient DNA is really fragmented. It's like you put that DNA in a wood-fired pizza oven and cooked it at 500 degrees overnight. It comes out just crumbs and shards. And so you can rebuild the puzzle of the genome, but what you get out is like a thumb-through second-hand copy of a book rather than a pristine book you bought from the bookstore.
Yeah, right.
So it's not good enough to clone, so you have to go down this gene editing route.
Yeah. And I mean, Nic, I don't know much about it. I mean, over the years we've heard about something called CRISPR, and I mean, these guys can't be the only ones doing it. Maybe they've just got the media on them because they called it the dire wolf. Has this been going on? How long has this really been happening? To your knowledge of companies doing this?
For decades, really. With the early cloning research that produced Dolly, scientists were trying to clone recently extinct animals from tissues preserved in biobanks, and they managed to clone a few individuals, but they'd only live for about a day or a week before they died. So the problem with cloning is if we cloned you, your clone, which would be born as a baby, would be actually genetically the same age as you are now.
Oh.
Whereas with the gene editing, the DNA is going to be the age of a newborn pup. So it's been going on it's been going on for a while by many different companies around the world, and we're contacted by de-extinction companies every other month wanting access to moa bones or to collaborate with them, so they can try to de-extinct the moa or the hui or the Haast eagle. But why Colossal has really jumped on this bandwagon is they've got big mega bucks coming in, like hundreds of millions of dollars, and supports like Peter Jackson's donated to them. George R. R. Martin, the author of Game of Thrones, has donated money to them, and they've just millions of dollars thrown at these projects.
Apparently, that the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, he's held one of them and he cried. I'm sorry, but I just think that's ridiculous. Nick, when these keep going.
The photo that's doing the rounds on social media of Romulus and Remus and Khaleesi sitting on the Iron Throne Iron Throne prop was Peter Jackson's.
There we go. Jeez, it's just. Oh, we're going to get to this, but I just want to go back to those little pups. When they do get to their 80 kilos, and they'll be quite formidable, you would think. I mean, how do you even introduce a proxy species into the ecosystem? Are these, they've made these wolves. I mean, what's their future? Are they going to build a population? How many do you need that you don't get genetically inbred?
Yeah, so this is a really, really good question. Colossal have already said they're not going to release these 3 pups into the wild when they're adults. So you have a genetically engineered grey wolf that kind of looks like a dire wolf. We won't get into the fact it's the wrong coat colour. There's the slight irony that their dire wolves look exactly like what they are in Game of Thrones and not what we think reality was.
Oh, what was reality, Nick? What did they really look like?
A more reddish tan brown coat, not the white one.
Pristine white.
So you've got these 3 individuals. Who's going to teach them to be dire wolves and behave like dire wolves? And so you've got that issue. So if you release them into the wild, they'll probably get killed very quickly trying to hunt or do something stupid. Yeah. But if you're going to release them into the wild, you need a genetically healthy population. So every one of your listeners will look a bit different. You look similar to your parents and your siblings, but you're not identical. That means you've got a lot of genetic variation. Yeah. What we don't want is the genetic variation of the English royal family, or Tutankhamun married his sister, or the Habsburgs. And we all know where that went.
Yeah, I hear you. So that's a bit sad, actually, Nick, in my eyes then, because you've got these 3, genetically made animals who are not going to be released. They'll grow up in captivity, I gather. But for what purpose? Because Colossal believes, or will tell, in their press release, that this is to advance conservation techniques and raise public interest to protect endangered species. Do you agree with that statement?